Hi there, welcome. My name is Jason, and today I'm here to introduce a plant to you called Toxicodendron diversilobum. This is known as the Pacific poison oak, also known as the Western poison oak. And one of the best forms of preventing yourself from getting it is proper identification. So we're going to go over that today, and I'll tell you some things about the plant. And yeah, so I'm here right now at the Lafayette Reservoir in Lafayette, California, and it is the beginning of September, and here we go. So I have the poison oak growing in two different locations within like the same area. And I just wanted to show you both so that you can get an idea of how this plant's growth habit changes based on like how much light it's getting. So anyways, here we go. So as you can see, all of these leaves, these like reddish leaves with like yellow and green, this is all poison oak. Oh my gosh. So if you can see that there, so leaves of three. So that's one thing. There's a rhyme. Leaves of three, let them be. Also, leaves of three, don't touch me. When you see the leaves of three, as you can see here, there are two leaves that are kind of jointly together, and then one leaf in the middle that is protruding out further than the rest, and that is a tall tale sign that you have spotted poison oak. Also, if you can see here, there's like a little cluster of berries left. Those will appear later in the summer. So the way that this plant works is in the spring you'll see some more bronzy colored leaves open up in like February through March. There's some of the bronzy colors. However, this isn't the type of bronzy color you would see in the spring because as I was saying, this is late summer. The color to expect the leaves to change in late summer is this reddish color. Uh, we still do have green leaves, because we're not at the very, very end of this plant's cycle yet, because this is a deciduous plant. It's winter deciduous. In the winter, all these leaves will fall off, and then you kind of won't be able to identify it. But the oil that's in the leaves and the branches is called urushiol, and that is what is so toxic. So you don't want to touch the stems even in the winter. The only way to properly maybe kind of identify it in the winter is the stems. They produce like a milky, like dark sap. It's a milky sap that turns dark when it dries on the stems. So when you see a thicket, just know that the sap will leave little spots on the stems. I don't know, just better safe than sorry. If you know that you're in a place where you're hiking and there's poison oak, it's better just to like stay out of the thicket, stay on the trail. See, we have a trail here. The ranger servicer, they're keeping this trail nice and clear for us so that we don't get poison oak. They cut the poison oak back so that it's not growing into the trail. However, sometimes, branches shoot out quickly, and you always want to be careful. It's easy just to walk right into it. If I were to go and start stretching on the side of this trail, I would be standing in all this poison oak. Know that the growth habit is different depending on how much light it gets. When it grows under the canopy of, for example, this live oak right here, Quercus agrifolia, this plant, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's growing way, way up. Like, it can grow like 30 to 50, even higher up the side of this tree, when it's covered in shade. Where, for example, over here, this is growing out here in almost full sun. And this is also, there's maybe a better look at the berries. This is also Toxicodendron diversilobum. Here's some more, it's more shrub-like, 5 to 7 feet tall. And more rounded and shrub-like. It's not climbing anything because it's out here in full sun. So when it's in full sun, just know that the growth habit is different. In the summer, you'll find the berries, so that's also a way of identifying it. Here's some of the berries. These are like white berries, dried up in little clusters, and there's like the different reds and greens that you see in the plant. Do not touch this plant. The oil, urushiol, we react quite severely to it. You'll get a rash. 24 to 48 hours is the typical time. There is a very small percentage of people that supposedly are not allergic to poison oak. I feel better safe than sorry. I'm not one of those people. I've actually come into contact with the plant before and broken out in a rash. I know one time I was jogging a trail and the poison oak had climbed a tree, and a branch was like hanging. It was kind of attached to one of the branches on the tree, and it hung down into the trail that I was jogging on. And I was running, and I just thought it was a branch, so I wasn't paying too much attention. I just kind of like dodged it with my head, and it whipped me in the neck. I didn't think anything of it, but later that day, uh, that evening, I got like a red welt that the next morning was very pronounced and pretty bad. And I knew that an oak branch wouldn't have done that. So I was like, what on earth happened? It might have been poison oak. So I went back to the trail I was running, saw that poison oak had actually grown into the trail. It kind of blended into the tree's branch. And so I went and let the rangers know, and the park cut it back. So that was cool. It happens. If you have a pet or children that don't know how to properly identify the plant and come into contact with it, just make sure to clean any objects that have come into contact with this plant, because that oil, even after exposure, you can still react to it. So say if I walked into it and the leaves like brushed against my shirt, that urushiol is on my shirt. So if I take my shirt off and go shower, um, I still can react to it. And even a shower, there's a chance I still could react, you know, I probably more than likely will react because it already touched my skin. I've heard that, using, um, you know, uh, body wash that, can like break down the oils of the poison oak. There's certain ones that different companies have made. This bug like loves me. I don't know what to do about it. But yeah, I would recommend washing yourself that night if you feel like you've come into contact with poison oak, taking all your clothes that have been exposed, washing those. If your pet has been exposed, say you brought your dog, to where there was poison oak and you saw it come running out of the poison oak, touching your dog is a way of getting exposed to the poison oak. It's good to wash your pet when you get home, and wash your clothes, wash your body, just do the best you can. If you do get poison oak, and you get the rash, it can last anywhere from like a week to 12 days, starting with blisters that dry and crust over. It's not fun at all, and even that can spread. But it can, for some people that are sensitive, it can even last much longer than that time. So best form of prevention, identify it properly. I've posted a thumbnail of the photo at the beginning of this video, just so you can see a close-up once again of the leaves of 3, let them be, also known as leaves of 3, don't touch me. This plant is called Toxicodendron diversilobum, also known as Pacific poison oak or the Western poison oak. My name is Jason. Thanks again for hanging out with me. It's been a pleasure. If you have any questions about this plant, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Thanks again.